Well, jeepers! You're listening to Smash or Pass.
Hey everyone, welcome to another video on the JayBee and Milly channel. Today we are on the penultimate, that is the correct word, right?
Yep.
Episode of the new Scooby-Doo Movies Series 2, which is The Haunted Candy Factory. Now, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. For me, this is literally like an old recipe for disaster, basically not done as well. The villains take the same shape. It's a food factory. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to go that far. And I'll elaborate with that via my plot summary.
Oh, don't worry. I'm gonna get a lot more positive, but that was my first thoughts. So, like you're saying, JayBee, a plot summary, please.
So I have to admit this is a bit of a bare bones one, but we have Scooby and the gang driving at night until they stumble upon a bit of an obscure building where they hear the voice of Elliot saying that she's being held prisoner in a candy factory. And with Scooby and the gang being the good people that they are, it's then their mission to save Elliot. And in the process of doing this, we get some candy globs, some sticky monsters, and some spooky, sweet, high-calorie full shenanigans. Will they save Elliot from the candy factory? Let's find out.
Indeed, let's. So, what's your initial thoughts on Elliot? Now, I'm guessing it's someone that neither one of us has known in the past.
I've heard people in the community talking about this episode, and I've heard the word, the name Elliot, but I always thought it was a guy. I'm not familiar with them in real life.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with them. My first thoughts is that they're quite funny.
Yeah.
I appreciate the humour.
I want to find out what they do. I assume she's a comedian.
This is literally just a 40-minute episode bullying her for being overweight. That's it. That's her character arc here. Can't say I'm that impressed.
I mean, it is
hear me out here. There is a rope that carries Daphne, Fred, and Velma, yet when she at once, but when she's on it, it snaps.
Yeah, and I think it busts a machine, right? Shaggy's I don't think the machine was meant to take this weight, and it's going, completely erratic in the background, doing, 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 and it's sparking and spluttering.
We get it. Someone that owns a sweet factory, not gonna be that thin.
Then again, Willy Wonka wasn't fat, was he?
Yeah, but...
And we mentioned Recipe for Disaster. I almost give this credit for all the episode of watching Scooby-Doo was great. It was clearly a homage and a parody to Willy Wonka. Whereas this, I think I give it a bit more credit in that it's not really parodying anything. It loses points on, not the fact that I'm you can't do anything fat-phobic or you can't, that's fine. And I think ultimately, it's been done a lot worse and a lot more often in other places. But I guess when that's their only writing, thing to fall back on, a writing crutch, we're running out of things to do or say, so let's make a joke about this exact same thing. That's the thing, it is for me, a bit on the repetitive side. I mean, I'm not even saying that there's moments that absolutely don't work with that joke. I just can't really think of any that do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It wasn't the best. Anyway, certainly been worse moments in this series, so it is what it is. And there's also been worse villains, because ultimately the kind of green gunk slime monsters don't look terrible.
And I predict that they are the inspiration for the cotton candy globe. And there's a few things.
I also predict that they are the inspiration for the Scooby Snack monster as well.
Yeah, so they're in the candy factory, and they're literally called the green glob. And glob, I think, is a very uncommon word, no? In the Sherlock episode, The Hounds of the Baskerville, the new Benedict Cumberbatch one.
Hound.
Yeah,
yes.
Because it's very bizarre, specific wording. And it's kind of like this with glob. They could have called the cotton candy glob any number of things. The cotton candy fiend, monster, creature, the cotton candy ball, but it's glob.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't know, to that end I do think it's inspired by this. And I love that for this episode, really, because I do think that ultimately the cotton candy glob goes on to be a more memorable villain than these globs, unfortunately. But it's always nice to to add on to the legacy or something. And for this episode, they work quite well. Like, they're quite imposing.
Yeah, it works well. I like the villain, I do. And ultimately, there's a kind of, again, it's just kind of a common running theme where they get trapped in some form of food, then there's a fat joke, then another one gets trapped in food, and then there's another fat joke. And for me, that's kind of how it continues for the best part of half an hour.
I don't mind her making the jokes. It's like there's like a legit an explicit moment, well, not like an explicit moment, but like a moment where it's explicitly stated. Like, I think she says something like a certain topic is heavy, and Shaggy goes, "Look who's talking."
But Shaggy's ridiculous because he eats more than she does.
I just think I was told by the purists that Mystery Inc. are good, groovy, wholesome people. And it's kind of like, I don't know, there's some dodginess going on there.
I'm just going to say she's only half the size he was when he bumps into the Hex Girls in Witch's Ghost.
No, to be fair,
do you remember that scene where they like lift their belly up to their chest?
I want to do that. You know, I used to be a very, very in shape guy. Very in shape.
Okay.
And I feel like people don't know that.
So, JayBee, this is how it persists, right? They're kind of bouncing around a factory. They see that this, like, it's kind of weird that the blobs are even still working in the factory. But that all turns out to be because there's been a bank robbery and they were hiding the gold within the candy bars, trying to get them out of the country. Which
I like, in a way. I think one could make the argument that I think things have changed in terms of flight, travel, whatever, after events, shall we say, significant events. That led to the rise of security. But I'm pretty sure nowadays you cannot take food in large quantities from country to country, no?
Couple of things. First off, it would be like importing food. Like, it's a business. Businesses ship food to different countries. They do. So it's just dealt with differently at customs and things like that. Secondly, I absolutely love how Cass gets a comment in at the end, like, there's another way you could have smuggled these in Shaggy's belly, like, just get him to eat them, because it's kind of like he's been digging her out the entire episode, like,
yeah, Shaggy.
It's good to see it's reciprocated. But third comment, how the heck did they get the gold back out of the like candy bars once they got there?
Well, here's the thing.
Not only that, but gold's not even that, like, insanely valuable anymore. Like, this is a piece of its time.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Like, my uncle works as like in the kind of jewelry industry, and the value of gold at certain times has dropped to the same price as silver nearly.
Is it even real gold in this episode? Because I know gold isn't the sturdiest of is it a metal or an element? It's not the sturdiest of precious gems, or it's not the sturdiest of things. But I don't think it's that malleable that if it was in a chocolate bar, they could break it now.
You can get like gold leaf and stuff like that. Like,
leaf?
I've had vodka with gold in it before.
Like real gold?
Yeah.
In
like
a
gold
drink?
Flakes, like gold flake, yeah.
Are you like a millionaire? I've never
I don't know
seen gold in my entire life.
I don't know. Oh, I need to get a picture. I don't know where my parents got it from. But yeah, I ended up with a bottle of vodka that had gold in it.
I've never, ever, I don't think, touched gold, seen gold, held gold, ever in my life. What? Well, tell the audience.
You proposed to me. This is gold.
Real gold?
Yes.
A real gold rare? Wow. Look at that. Aren't I good? Oh, you just told me it's not that valuable, so...
No, it is. Look, right, you see that?
Yeah?
That.
Oh, I'm not even going to try it.
It's got, like, bits of gold in it.
Basically, if you're at home listening, type in gold vodka, but if you're under the age of 18...
Don't.
I wouldn't... And you know what? Oh, rooting to in 21 in America, change it till 18. Like, there's no reason to...
Snuffed it.
Ah, okay,
Although it wasn't that, it was a better make than that.
yeah, well,
but-
whatever. Type in Smirnoff Gold and you'll know what we mean. I don't condone drinking.
We don't drink anymore.
I don't drink, so if you think we're... Actually, no one's going to think we're cool. I don't condone it.
Right,
It's just
so-
an interesting factoid.
Anyway, the plot was to get the gold out, unmasking.
What a weird tangent to go on. So,
Unmasking.
unmasking, it is people.
That we completely irrelevant. It's Mr. Franklin, it's not Mr. Franklin. Nah, is what that is. And then they're all eating at the end. Now, JayBee, smash or pass?
I'm going to pass this one very swiftly.
I'm going to smash this one.
You're going to smash it?
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I quite like Cass.
Well, that's good. We need to go because there's a TV program.
Yay!
You go and I'll just wrap it up with a bit of an announcement. So this goes out on Friday, and I'm going to say the name of some iconic movies. So, Ghostbusters, Poltergeist, Terminator 2, Batman Returns, The Titanic, X-Men The Last Stand, Avatar, The Twilight Saga, Kingsman, Nosferatu, Greyhound. I'm now going to mention some iconic TV shows. Scooby-Doo's All-Star Laugh Olympics, Casper and the Angels, Godzilla, and there's more. Now, what do all those things have in common? The answer is, of course, the incredible John Bruno, who started his life started his career in animation, in the animation department as a layout artist, and doing just general layouts, and has since become a VFX legend. Of course, like I've mentioned, he was the VFX supervisor on the original Ghostbusters movie. And why am I mentioning John Bruno? That is because he is our next podcast guest. You can find the full interview with John Bruno on the channel tomorrow, or it should be set to premiere as we speak now, so please make sure to go there and set notifications on. He was so incredible with his time. It's another one that's upwards of an hour long, so I cannot recommend that enough. So yeah, thanks for listening. You can find the next review hopefully on the Monday, which is Scooby-Doo meets Dick Van Dyke, and this will conclude the new Scooby-Doo movies in terms of our reviews. So if you do want to hear that and so much more, then please like, comment, and subscribe to JayBee Milly.